If you had to pick one car that looks like it was designed purely to make you feel something, not just drive fast, not just turn heads, but actually make your chest tighten when you press the throttle, the Aston Martin Vantage Roadster would be near the top of that list. And yet, there's a version of this story that Aston Martin's marketing team would rather you never heard, because for all the jaw-dropping performance numbers and hand-stitched leather and roofless grand touring fantasies, this car came to market with a problem that could have caused a fire. Don't go anywhere, because by the time we're done, you'll know something about this car that most people who've actually sat in one don't. And the one stat near the end of this video genuinely made automotive journalists stop and read the data twice. Before we go further, if you're new here, subscribe right now. We cover the world's most exciting open-top machines every single week, and you do not want to miss what's coming next. Also, check the description below. There are some affiliate links down there for products we actually use and recommend, so give those a look. Now, let's go back to where this car actually comes from, because the history here is not what most people expect. Aston Martin has been building open-top sports cars for 75 years. 75! The very first drophead Aston Martin appeared in 1950, and since then, almost every generation of the brand has produced a convertible version of its most driver-focused model. The Vantage name itself carries an almost mythological weight in British automotive culture. It started not as a separate model, but as an upgrade package, a way of saying this version is sharper, more aggressive, more alive than the standard car. Over the decades, that name evolved into its own standalone model, and today it sits as the entry point into the Aston Martin world. Entry point, by the way, meaning somewhere north of $200,000. So when Aston stood up in January of 2025 and announced a new Roadster version of the latest Vantage, the automotive world paid very close attention, because this wasn't just a convertible version of an existing car. They were claiming something far more provocative. They called it no compromise. Those two words set off a debate that's still going on in forums, comment sections, and YouTube videos today. Because in the world of convertibles, no compromise is essentially an impossible claim. When you remove the roof of any sports car, you lose structural rigidity, you add weight, you change the center of gravity, you tune the suspension differently to compensate for all of that, and in doing so, you almost always end up with something slightly softer, slightly less precise, slightly less connected than the coupe it came from. That's just physics. Except Aston Martin says they found a way around it, and the method they used is genuinely clever. Rather than building the coupe first and then cutting the roof off later, which is how most manufacturers do it, Aston developed the Roadster and the coupe simultaneously from the very beginning. The same engineering team working on both cars at the same time, solving both sets of structural problems in parallel. That approach allowed them to redesign the front crossmember, reposition the suspension mounting points for maximum stiffness, reinforce the rear axle without adding unnecessary weight, and tune the adaptive dampers specifically for the Roadster's own weight distribution. The result is a 49-51 front-to-rear weight balance in a convertible. If you know anything about chassis engineering, you know that number is not easy to achieve in a car without a roof. It's the kind of balance you usually only see in purpose-built racing machines. And the roof itself, because this is a Roadster, so the roof matters, is something Aston spent considerable time obsessing over. They chose a Z-fold fabric design instead of the heavier traditional K-fold, which saved meaningful weight and allowed them to eliminate the need for a separate tonneau cover. The folding mechanism is fully electric, and it works at speeds of up to 31 miles per hour. But the number that gets people is the speed. The roof opens or closes completely in 6.8 seconds. Aston Martin claims that is the fastest automatically deploying convertible roof on the market today. 6.8 seconds. You can drop the roof at a traffic light and be ready to go before the light changes. That detail alone says a lot about the kind of car this is supposed to be. Not a weekend toy you plan around, but a machine you live with every single day. Now, the engine. This is where it gets genuinely interesting, and also where the most heated arguments tend to happen. Under the hood of the Vantage Roadster is a 4.0-liter twin-turbocharged V8, and that engine was built by Mercedes-AMG, not inspired by, not sharing architecture with, actually built by AMG, assembled by hand at their facility in Falterbach, Germany. Aston Martin and AMG have been engineering partners for about a decade, and that relationship has never sat easily with the most devoted Aston purists. There's something that feels counterintuitive about paying $200,000 for a British sports car powered by a German engine. Aston has always maintained that they retain full creative control over tuning, their own intake, their own turbochargers, their own exhaust system, even a modified firing order to give the engine a character that sounds and feels distinctly different from any AMG product. And for this generation, they push that engine harder than ever before. The new version produces 656 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque. That is a jump of 153 horsepower over the previous model. Not a tune, not a software update, a 153 horsepower increase. That's the size of some complete engines. What those numbers translate to on the road is a car that hits 60 miles per hour from a standstill in 3.5 seconds and keeps going all the way to a top speed of 202 miles per hour in a convertible, with the roof down if you want. Those are coupe numbers. Supercar numbers, and here is the statistic that genuinely stopped automotive journalists mid-sentence when the independent test data came in. The Vantage Roadster, the entry-level Aston Martin with a V8, out-accelerated the Vanquish, Aston's own V12 flagship, a car with 824 horsepower and a price tag that starts at over $400,000. The V8 Roadster, which weighs hundreds of pounds less than the V12, hooks up cleaner off the line and gets to 60 faster. The baby sibling beat the flagship in a straight line. That's either the most embarrassing thing that can happen to a flagship car, or the most compelling argument for the Vantage that anyone could possibly make, depending on which car you're trying to sell. But now, and this is important because this is the part of the story that gets very quietly left out of the launch presentations. When the 2025 Vantage hit the market, it came with two separate recalls, on a brand new car. The first one is the kind that makes you read it twice to make sure you understood it correctly. The engine oil cooler hose, part of that hand-built AMG V8, can split open during normal operation due to pressure pulsation and heat. When that happens, the car loses oil rapidly. You get warnings on the dashboard. Smoke from the engine bay is possible. The engine can stall or seize, which at highway speeds creates a situation you absolutely do not want to be in. Aston Martin issued that recall for over 1,000 vehicles in the United States alone and had dealers replace the hoses at no charge. The second recall is less dangerous but almost more baffling. When you put the car in reverse, the rear view camera could be blocked by the infotainment home screen. On a car that costs over $200,000, the backup camera didn't work properly because the software wasn't programmed correctly. That one was fixed over the air, but still. Real owners on forums around the same time were also reporting engine warning lights coming on, occasional misfires, and sluggish gear shifts, most of it traced back to overly sensitive sensors that needed software patches. The early buyers of this car essentially served as a beta testing program. That's a pattern in the luxury sports car world that's been growing, and the Vantage is not the only car guilty of it. But when you're spending this kind of money, the expectation is that these problems belong to someone else's car. Speaking of money, let's talk about what this car actually costs to own, because the sticker price is only the beginning. The base Vantage Roadster starts at just over $211,000 in the United States, plus import costs and handling fees that push the real out-the-door number higher before you've even touched the options list. And the options list is where Aston Martin truly expresses itself. Carbon ceramic brakes, which reviewers say are genuinely brilliant but probably unnecessary unless you plan to track the car, are a $14,400 add-on. Certain paint colors from what Aston calls their provenance range add over $20,000 to the price. The optional Bowers & Wilkins audio system, acoustically engineered specifically for the Roadster's interior volume and shape, is another premium on top of that. Fully optioned examples have landed at $250,000 and beyond. At that price, the conversation inevitably turns to the Porsche 911 Turbo Cabriolet, which starts around $210,000 and comes with a reputation for reliability and comparatively restrained options pricing. The 911 is faster in some real-world scenarios, has a longer track record, and is easier to own day to day, but it's also a car that virtually everyone has seen before, and that ultimately is the difference. Because when you're behind the wheel of the Vantage Roadster with the roof folded away in under 7 seconds and that V8 building toward its peak, the exhaust note isn't just an audio experience, it's something closer to a physical one. There is genuinely nothing else that feels like it. In comfort mode, the adaptive dampers do a surprisingly good job of absorbing the real world, and the engine settles into a low, burbling idle that makes city driving feel almost civilized. Switch to Sport Plus, and the whole character of the car transforms. The steering tightens. The rear becomes playful in a way that feels intentional rather than nervous. The engine stops being polite. And because the roof is down, you get the full orchestra, every intake note, every exhaust crack, every gear chains amplified in a way that no cabin can replicate, no matter how good the sound system. Journalists who drove it in Austria, in the rain, noted something that surprised them. Even in genuinely difficult conditions, the car never felt unstable or unpredictable. The electronic differential and the 6-axis sensor system work constantly, invisibly, making sure the 605.6 horsepower reaches the road in a way that feels manageable rather than terrifying. That's not something you could say about the previous generation of this car. The new Vantage Roadster is by every serious measure a better machine. So what does that leave us with? A convertible that matches its own coupe's performance numbers, a V8 that humiliates a V12, a roof that opens faster than any other on the market, and 2 recalls before most cars had left the showroom. Whether that story adds up to the perfect open-top sports car or a very expensive lesson in early adoption depends entirely on which part of the story you decide to believe. Aston Martin says no compromise. The recall documents suggest a slightly more complicated truth, and somehow, that tension is exactly what makes this car so fascinating to talk about. That's it for today. If you made it this far, you're exactly the kind of viewer this channel exists for. Hit subscribe and check those affiliate links in the description below. See ya in the next one.